In this tutorial, I am going to show you how to convert an existing ActionScript project to a Haxe project. For this, I am going to use the project Flappy-Starling developed by Daniel Spurl, the creator of the Starling Framework. Flappy-Starling is a remake of the original game, Flappy Bird, which Daniel has used in his book, the Starling Handbook, to explain the basics of game development. If you are new to Starling, I highly recommend reading it. Let's first download the project and unzip it. Then, open VS Code Editor and add the unzipped Flappy-Starling master folder into it. We need to install few extensions in VS Code Editor to support development of ActionScript projects. Let's restart the code editor. Good, now all the ActionScript projects will be automatically set up by the code editor. In order to compile the project, we need to add an SDK to it. Click on No SDK at the bottom right of the editor, and then, select the path to the latest AR SDK folder, installed on your system. Click on No SDK one more time, and then choose the current AR SDK from the drop-down list. Now, restart the code editor one more time. The project is now ready for development. Let's check the asconfig.json file and see if the project is configured for debugging purpose. Looks like the project is set up for debugging on Air Simulator and mobile platforms. Also, the main class is pointing to the mobile version. Let's try debugging and see what happens. Seems like there are issues with debugging on mobile platforms. Let's try it on Air Simulator and see if that works. Process exited with code 9? I think this is an issue with the app XML. Yes, there is a mismatch in the namespace version. Let's update it to match with our current AR SDK version. Save, and start debugging. Excellent. Everything looks good now. Next, let's see how to convert this project to Haxe, and then, how to create its HTML5 version. To convert ActionScript to Haxe, I am going to use the tool called AS3HX, which is provided by the Haxe Foundation. To install AS3HX on your system, use the command haxlib install AS3HX. Open a new terminal in the code editor, add the command, and then, press enter. Next, to run the conversion tool, we need to use the command haxlib run AS3HX path to source folder path to output folder. Let's copy the source folder path from Flappy-Starling's master folder. Please note that we are only copying the source folder's path. All the ActionScript files inside that folder will be converted to Haxe. Next, we need to mention the output folder's path. To do that, first we need to create a new OpenFl Starling project. Open your system's terminal window. Then use the command OpenFl create Starling project Flappy-Starling-Haxe, then press enter. Change the directory, and then open the project in VS Code Editor. Now, let's update the folder names to match with the ActionScript project. We need to update the same in the project.xml file. The source folder contains a game class and a startup class. Both the classes are not required for this project, as we will be using the AS3 converted files. Let's delete it and keep the folder empty to avoid any conflicts during the conversion process. Next, copy the source folder's path and then add it as the output folder location for the AS3HX conversion tool. Press enter to start the conversion. That's it. The conversion is complete. There is a warning message in the Embedded Assets class. Let's ignore it, as we won't be using that class in the Haxe project. Let's check the converted files. One thing you need to understand is that AS3HX is not a 100% conversion tool. After the conversion, we will have to go through all the classes and make the necessary changes in the Haxe code to make it run. Now, let's copy the assets from the ActionScript project to the Haxe project. Let's also copy the app.xml file. Before we fix the issues with the code, let's first set up the project.xml. Let's change the title to Flappy-Starling. Let's copy the same package name from the ActionScript project. Next is the main class. We have two main classes in this project, one is for the web version and another is for the mobile version. Let's pick the web version as the main class for this project, as we are only targeting HTML5 for this tutorial. Next, let's change the file name to Flappy-Starling. We can also change the path from export to bin. Next, we need to copy few settings from the Starling demo project. Next, let's update the asset paths accordingly. That's it. Next, let's start code fixing. Keep in mind that there is no Flash in Haxe, and we will have to change it with OpenFl. See, flash.display.sprite became openfl.display.sprite. Next, let's fix the Asset Manager's load queue. As mentioned earlier, we don't require embedded assets class. Instead, we will be passing all the required assets in an array. For the web version, we will be using the texture atlas of scale 1x. Same for the bitmap font. Next, we need to add the sound files. That's it. We have included all the asset files in the enqueue array. Next, we need to load the queue. The load queue function requires an onComplete function. Let's create it. So, when the assets loading is complete, start game function will be called. Starling.root is a display object, so we need to cast it with the game class. Oh! The start function requires Asset Manager as a parameter. We need to make few changes in the code then. Cool! We have fixed all the issues with the main class. Next, let's move on to the game class. Let's remove the Flash import. Import OpenFl class. Starling.juggler won't work in Haxe. Instead, we must use Starling.current.juggler. That's not the way to handle shared object data. Also, let's not use AS3HX's parseInt function. Instead, let's handle it differently. Unlike AS3, Haxe is a strictly typed programming language. So, we must enforce typing on all data being interacted with. Here, we need to return an integer value. In Haxe, we can use std.int to convert a floating type variable to integer. In Haxe, we cannot directly assign values to shared object data. Instead, we must use sharedObjectSetProperty function. Okay, game class is clean now. Let's move on to the world class. Asset Manager is returning a vector of textures. Let's change array to vector. Oh, seems like we have some issue with the code editor. It's not showing any errors. Let's try restarting it once. There you go. Now everything is working fine. In Haxe, for loops are handled differently. So, we cannot decrement the I value here in the code. To solve this issue, let's convert this for loop to a while loop. That try-catch is not necessary. Let's remove it. World class, looks clean. Next, let's check the tile overlay class. During the conversion process, all AS3 number variables will be automatically converted to floating point type. In Haxe, that may not be correct all the time. Sometimes, like here, width and height should be typed as integers. Let's fix it. With that fix, the tile overlay class looks clean. Let's check the obstacle class. Obstacle class also looks clean. So, that's it. We have now successfully converted an AS3 project to Haxe. Next, let's run the project and see how it plays out.
Yes!
Congratulations! We have now successfully created the HTML5 version of Flappy-Starling. Come, let's test the gameplay. Next, let's see how to create a release build and share the game with our friends. To create a release build, use the command OpenFl build HTML5 -final. Then press enter. Excellent. Next, open the project folder. Output files will be stored in the bin folder. Let's open it. Open the HTML5 folder, then open the bin folder. These are the files required for uploading our HTML5 game. Select all the files, and then create a compressed zip file. Rename the zip file to Flappy-Starling-HTML5. To upload and share the game, I am going to use my itch.io account. Itch.io is a website for users to host, sell, and download indie games. Click on the dashboard and then select Create a new project. Let's keep the title same as Flappy-Starling. In Kind of Project drop-down, select HTML. Then, click Upload, and then select the zip file, Flappy-Starling-HTML5, and then, open to upload it. Once the uploading is complete, check the option, this file will be played in the browser. Then, set the viewport dimensions width to 320 pixel, and height to 480 pixel. Select the genre as adventure. To share the game with your friends, you can select either public or restricted option in Visibility and Access section. Select Save and View Page. Let's test the game one more time. Excellent! Now, let's publish the game and share the link with our friends. Click on the Draft button. Then, change the Visibility and Access option from Draft to Public. Click Save. And then, View Page. The game is now published and live. Next, let's try the game link in a different browser. You can find the link to this game in the descriptions. Please check it out. That's it for this tutorial. Hope you liked it. Please share your feedback in the below comments section. For more such tutorial videos, please like, share and subscribe my channel. Till then, bye bye, take care and good luck.